all of you that have never done this for a living, that literally believe that it's all about the quality of a match. No, it ain't.
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
Well, Will Ospreay did 2 interviews in the past couple weeks. The first interview was with the Daily Star, and he said, WWE is on fire right now, but I just don't enjoy it. Not as a viewer and certainly not as a wrestler. I respect it, and I respect the guys doing it. That schedule is like crazy, and I commend them all for doing it. I just didn't like it. I don't like the show. I don't like the style of wrestling. I don't like the presentation. It's gotten better. I love the one-shots that they've been doing, but I've never been a big fan of it. So that's why when AEW came along and they went with more sports-based style of it, it was something that I could sink my teeth into. Of course, like I respect WWE and I admire everyone there. A lot of people think I hate Triple H, and I really don't. I've never met the guy before in my life. But for me, there's always this little bit of rivalry where I'll just be like, yeah, you guys are the biggest. Yeah, you guys are drawing the bigger houses. Yeah, you guys have got the bigger deals. But the moment the bell rings, I think we're better than all of them. Like, I think, honestly, on my worst day, I'm better than a lot of the guys in ring. Promos, you guys have got a bunch of guys. Punk's sick. Reigns is sick. There's still things that I need to catch up on. But in ring, I generally don't think there's anyone from that side that, like, matches any of our guys. And then on Josh Martinez YouTube, Ospreay said about WWE, we smoke them in every field of wrestling. Like, oh, man, we're just better. I respect them. I respect every single one of them there. They're all vets. They all know what they're doing. They're great at their job. They understand getting people on their feet. But we are so much more of the better wrestling company than them. Like, our guys smoke them every single day, every single days of the week. They've got good guys like Gunther. They've got great guys like Orton. They've got good guys like Chad Gable. I respect all of them. But on our worst day, we smoke all of you guys.
Acrobatically, yeah, you might be better because these guys limit that in the ring because WWE primarily directs their talent a lot more so and produces their talent to sell who they are. And that's really what this business is about, is selling who you are. And AEW is more about appealing to that niche audience that enjoys what you do. Yeah. So in-ring wise, WWE performers are going to always outdo AEW performers. And if Will Ospreay ever wants to live up to the potential that he clearly has, he needs to go to WWE so he can learn how to sell who he is more predominantly than just what he does. If in AEW, a Will Ospreay match, you're going to see him do 22 different physical acts. He goes to WWE, he's going to be lucky if he does 2 to 3. Why? Is it because that, WWE doesn't appreciate that standard? No, they do very much. But he's going to do them at the right time for the right reason, not just randomly throwing them in there to where they're meaningless and all they would do is cost him a potential possibility of an injury. Of him saying that, they're in ring, they're smoking WWE, I hate to disagree with him because if that were the case, then why is the audience not migrating from WWE into AEW? Why are AEW's numbers have been on, I don't know what they are now, but have been on the decline, both attendance-wise and that right there, honestly, and this isn't a knock on him, okay?
Wait, can I answer your last question?
Well,
let me answer the question first. Well, you just said you wonder why they're not on the same gimmick, right? I'm going to answer that.
No, that was a rhetorical. I know why.
All right, let me answer. You don't know why.
Okay, I don't.
And the only other thing that beat him was a Hallmark movie.
Hallmark. WWE ain't up against Hallmark, Al. How dare you? How dare you, Al?
That's right. That damn Rudolph, too. God bless.
Red-Nosed Reindeer. Did a big number as well.
Man, come on, Al. How dare Al? You don't paint the whole picture. I got to be fair. I got to be fair to AEW. It's a whole different playing field.
I'm not knocking AEW. I'm just pointing something out.
Go ahead, Al. The floor is yours, Al. Go ahead.
Okay, now if I can remember what point I was trying to make.
You can't underestimate a good Hallmark movie.
It's tough. I mean, it's so homesy and folksy.
Yes. All right, go ahead, Al. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I was always taught, and still to this day, even though, like we had just previously expressed, in the fact that Ospreay said, "Oh, we're smoking them," even though he said in his own words they're doing, more attendance, bigger shows. Then no, you're not. You're clearly not. Because if you were giving the audience, the mass audience, what they wanted to see, your numbers would be comparable or better. Your attendance, your viewership. Because that, regardless of what you want to think, your jackass opinions, all of you that have never done this for a living, that literally believe that it's all about the quality of a match. No, it ain't. It's about how much that match drew as far as eyes on it. Period. How many times do we have to be subjected to listening to someone go, so-and-so and so-and-so had the match of a lifetime. They did a 7-star on a 5-star rating platform because somebody got a hard on and decided, hey, I'm going to give it an extra 2 stars. I was on Viagra.
Two and a quarter.
2.25 out. How dare you?
How dare I? They did so well. But, and I'm not saying it about that particular match, I'm just saying, but when we really broke it down, it was in a building that had a capacity of 10,000 people. 3,000 showed up to see it. The promoter ran another show with those same 2 guys on top. And instead of drawing 3,000 people, it drew 1,200. Well, if it was that great of a match, don't you think it would have went from 3,000 and they'd have sold the building out to 10,000 instead of going less? But we don't equate anymore as performers, which was why I had, and I can't believe I'm still beating this dead horse, why I had an exception to the popular opinion that Savage and Steamboat had the best match on WrestleMania 3. As far as from a fan's standpoint, 100%, I would agree. They were incredible. But from an inside the business, and I got to make a living off of it, Hogan and Andre did. And that since that time, the direction, and you can see it in AEW, the direction is everyone wants to be Savage and Steamboat. No one wants to be Hogan and Andre. Mm-hmm. And Ospreay's comments of, oh, we smoke them. You're Savage and Steamboat. AEW is Savage and Steamboat. WWE is Hogan and Andre. And when you break it down, okay, I always would rather get Hogan and Andre's payoff for WrestleMania 3 than Savage and Steamboat's payoff. When you break it down, I'm sure Ospreay's probably making good money in AEW. But if he were, does he realize the money he potentially could make in WWE? Does Will Ospreay realize the potential opportunities still in entertainment outside of WWE that would open up if he were to be the man in WWE that he in the position that he is in AEW? Mind-boggling, the difference. But he'd rather be proud of being Savage and Steamboat than he would Hogan and Andre. And that's really how you can describe both of those companies.
Yeah.
And again, it means it was an opinion. So it was a fan's opinion. They had the best match of WrestleMania 3. You are absolutely 100% correct. In your opinion, they did. But if you were a worker, if you were a wrestler, let me tell you something. Back then, every guy in the business wanted to be Hogan and Andre. Nobody wanted to be Savage and Steamboat. Why? Not because they weren't amazing, they weren't incredible, but because I wanted to get paid what Hogan and Andre got paid. I wanted to be the guy at the top of the card. I wanted to be the guy that drew the house. Hey, so-and-so had a better match than Steve Austin and so-and-so. I'd rather be Steve Austin and, his opponent than I would have the other guys. Why? Well, because I'm making Steve Austin money. And he drew the house. No ifs, ands, or buts. He drew the house. So I would want to be him. I might not get the accolades of the internet wrestling community, that might, or I may not ever have, like we've talked about it, Kurt Angle having never had a 5-star match. Insane. But again, that's just an opinion. But the sad thing is, like, it's become so prevalent that now we have a talent for AEW who is guided by that thought process to the point where he thinks, and good for him, he should be loyal to AEW because he's there right now, you know, but he genuinely believes that AEW and the product that they put out smokes WWE. They don't even come close when you sit down and you look at what the numbers are. And, you know, oh, well, you know, numbers don't matter. Yeah, they do. Because at some point, the network's going to go, well, we're paying them this much and they're only drawing this much, which means we can only sell our advertising for that. Well, you know what? Yeah, we need to make a change. And then that ceases to exist. It goes away.
Yep.
You know, because the network don't care. Network executives don't care about the quality of a match.
Exactly. I mean, it might not be a business to Will Ospreay. It's a business to the network execs.
Correct. And they because their mortality in it, their lifeblood in it is on whether or not their decision making of deciding what to put on TV to draw numbers is the right decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And if that they decided to put AEW on television or WWE on Netflix, and it doesn't draw the numbers that they thought it would or were sold and believed would, that reflects on them. And now their leadership and decision making, and hey, we might need to make a change. You know, we need this. And now that executive's got a black mark on their track record, which means they may not get another chance to be in that level position again.
Yep.
You know,
so
those numbers do matter. And those attendance numbers matter because those attendance numbers are a reflection of what potential audience members will be watching on TV. That is indicative of his opinion. And
they don't look at it as a business. We know that. They don't look at it as a business.
I'm not knocking Will Ospreay or anything, you know, but it is indicative of showing just exactly where the majority of these people's thought process is nowadays. They don't focus on or evaluate their success any longer on the number of people that attended to see them. That was it.
Absolutely. All right, what else, Jeff?